Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, today I want to talk to you about those three magical players. These are the players that you hope show up to your gaming table if you're a game master, and you're just thrilled when they show up. You may not know their names, you may not know who they are, but you recognize them when you see them play. And if you clicked on this video thinking I was going to talk about three different types of players, no, sorry to disappoint. I'm talking about generally, in my experience, about three players that are really driving the bus. They're the ones that are really super engaged in the game. They're the ones that are there that are just pretty much carrying the weight and making the game fun and exciting and engaging. And I was talking to Big Mike, from Tef's Tavern. It's like a real brief interchange back and forth. And from what I understand, he runs a big table, and that's a skill that I do not have. I'm not really very good at running those, and it's not my preference to have a large table or to play at a large table. It turns into cacophony for me. I get too distracted. I don't like, how it tends to fall apart. That's a whole different video. But as I'm talking to him, I said, it's been my experience that no matter how big a table is, whether it's three guys or whether it's 10 people, there's usually those three players that are there that are really kind of driving the bus. They're the ones that show up to role play. And so I'm always thrilled when they show up. And what I'm talking about people that are like actively, aggressively engaged and involved in the game. And I'm taking this more from a simulationist standpoint, but really it doesn't really matter whether you're a gamist or a narrativist or whether you prefer games that accentuate or facilitate those styles, what your intentions are. There's those players that are they're there to play, and they're active, they're engaged. They're the ones that they already they don't hesitate. They already kind of know what they want to do. They're not only thinking about what am I going to do before it's my turn, and not really paying attention to the other players. They're paying attention to what's going on, and maybe changing what they're going to do on the fly. They're really actively paying attention, and they're into it. In a case, types of games I prefer, they're into their character. They're really in there in the moment. They're hanging on every word. They've got plans. They're not just reacting to what like I'm doing as a game master. That's not what I'm after. I'm after people that are really actively engaging in the world, where I kind of have to like run after them, trying to keep up. Those are the players that I really enjoy, playing with. And of course, sometimes these can come, hand in hand with being a little bit more dominating and aggressive. But I'm trying to just distill it down to like the type of player I like. So that can sometimes be a challenge too. But I'm talking about people that that aren't necessarily jerks, but they're just really excited. They really can't wait to interact with that world through their character. They show up. Show up on time. They're just engaged. They are there in the moment in the game. And it's funny. I made a video some time ago, after I got introduced to, I think it was Matt Colville was talking about Robin's Laws, and he's talking about the audience member, type of gamer where they just show up and they're happy to kind of hang on and watch and roll dice. And I talked about in some games I am an audience member. I was thinking about it a little bit and kind of reflecting upon that today. And I realized oftentimes when I've been content to be an audience member and not be one of those really super engaged people, it's because something in the game isn't working for me. And I'm really not there completely anyway. It could be just this, I don't particularly like the system, how the game's going, that the group isn't gelling. Somehow, like I just haven't bought in. And sometimes that's okay. I'm still having some fun, but I'd rather be that aggressively engaged player. That's kind of my natural state. And I've noticed, the games I played in lately, pickup games or whatever, that I just kind of fall right into that. So I guess I'm one of those cool three guys. But I enjoy having players like that. And I was talking to some various people about that. And I talked to Dark Age of Roleplay Games, talked to Jason. I think in the actual Hangouts, you can see us talking about that, where we kind of agree on that, liking those really active players. And I think I was talking to Anthony, to RuneSlinger, and I don't believe it was actually part of the Hangout. Maybe we were talking before or after. Maybe it was, but I was talking about that phenomenon. And as I'm talking to Big Mike and as I'm talking to Jason and talking to Anthony, sometimes to me I'm thinking to myself, well, if it's this big table, or maybe it's six people, let's say it's six people, do we really just want those other three people there? And I sound like a jerk saying that, or do I just But my point is, do I really just want those three really actively engaged players there? And and sometimes the other people aren't really necessarily doing anything upsetting, but they're just not there. And I'm ignoring the people that are super indecisive, on their phones just completely, and you swear they're on a different planet. I'm talking about the people who are just a little bit more passive, but they're still fun to play with or whatever. Or still they're still playing the game. They're still rolling dice. They still kind of know what's going on. They're just not those people driving the bus. And it's funny because one of the things that that Anthony said, which I thought was really kind of interesting. We've talked, about like things like troop style play and playing minor characters and what have you. And he just kind of like, I think off the cuff said, it would be kind of interesting, or, you have these other players that aren't quite so engaged and say they want to take a back seat where they're not this mover and shaker. But he said it would take kind of a special person to, like, say, play one of our lackeys in All for One. Where of course we would have to do it in such a way that they would be there more often in the scenes. Or let's OSR D&D, and let's say I have my 3 movers and shakers, but they have henchmen. Would there be players willing to play that sort of character? Or, of course, I guess realistically they are playing their other characters in kind of this really kind of passive fashion. But maybe, say not mechanically, but like socially. Maybe they work with this other guy. Maybe they earn experience, or, however the game mechanically rewards you just as much as the other players to be fair, because they are showing up expecting this game experience, even though they're not driving the bus. But would they be willing to play somebody that, socially, for some reason, isn't quite as dominant? So, of course, they're not making the decisions. I don't know. Where that thought experiment's going to go. I was just wondering about that. Would somebody that's more content to be an audience member be content to do that? I do recall making that response video to DBJ, to Dave Brian Jackson, where he's talking about one of the things that never works is Hero and Company. And I have had those games where, there was somebody that was obviously the hero or the leader, and a lot of us were content to play the underlings, or somebody that wasn't, we were playing second fiddle, one way or another, mechanically, socially, whatever. So, something like that might work. But then again, we were also very active and engaged. We just knew that we weren't the top dog in that particular scenario. So I'm kind of rambling here, but, I just, once again, because I'm going to make some videos. DBJ asked me, you should really make some more detailed videos about the players' behaviors you don't like. But I really want to talk about the behaviors I do like. And this is just kind of this, I've talked about this before. Those 3 guys, 3 gals, or whatever, that are just really right there in the moment driving the bus. And those are the 3 players I just hope show up all the time. And I'm thrilled when they do. And then I start to wonder, do I really want anybody else there? Or do I want that small, really engaged group? So tell me about your experience. Tell me about your thoughts on this subject. And maybe we'll have a dialogue about this. So that's it.